Hi everybody, my name is Mark David Buckles, and I'm going to be sharing the song Bright Morning Star with you. I hope you'll sing it with me. Some of you might be familiar with the song in the Unitarian Universalist hymnal, Bright Morning Stars. My understanding is that the song originally was Bright Morning Star, about our sun. Bright morning star is arising, or bright morning stars arising. This is also a different melody from maybe the one you've heard. It's, in my understanding, an old Appalachian melody, and it's got some additional verses written by my friend and colleague Matt Meyer. So here's how the song goes. Bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising. Day is a breaking in my soul. So I'm going to line that out for you. I'll sing one line, invite you to sing it back with me. Bright morning stars arising, your turn. Bright morning stars arising. Bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Day is a breaking, day is a breaking in my soul. So let's try that whole thing together. Bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Let's try that one more time. Bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Rise up from morning slumber, rise up from morning slumber, rise up from morning slumber, rise up from morning slumber. Day is a breaking in my soul. Rise up and hear your calling, rise up and hear your calling, rise up and hear your calling, rise up and hear your calling. Day is a breaking in my soul. Oh, lift your voice to heaven, oh, lift your voice to heaven, oh, lift your voice to heaven, oh, lift your voice to heaven. Day is a breaking in my soul. We'll sing out loud for justice. 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 Day is a breaking in my soul. We'll build this faith together. 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 Day is a breaking in my soul. Bright morning star arising, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising. Day is a breaking in my soul. One more time, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Day is a breaking, day is a breaking in my soul. Day is a breaking, day is a breaking in my soul. One more time. Day is a breaking in my soul.
2, 1, 2, 3.
The night was black, the roads were icy, snow was falling, drifts were high. I was weary from my driving, so I stopped to rest for a while. I sat down at a truck stop. I was thinking about my past. I've had a long streak of that bad luck, but I pray it's gone at last. 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 I've had a long streak of that bad luck, but I pray it's gone at last. I ain't done. I've kicked around some. I don't fall too easily. Touch your face, look so dejected. You just grab my sympathy, sweet little soul. Now what's your problem? Tell me why you're so downcast. I've had long streak of that bad luck, but I pray it's gone at last. Gone at last. Gone at last. Gone at last. I've had long streak of that bad luck, but I pray it's gone at once in a while, from out of nowhere, when you least expect it, and you're unprepared, somebody will come and lift you higher, and your burdens will be shared. Yes, I do believe if I hadn't met you, I might still be sinking fast. I've had long streak of that bad luck, but I pray it's gone at last. 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 I've had long streak of that bad luck, but I pray it's gone at last. Gone, gone. Gone, gone, gone. Gone, gone, gone. Gone, 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 gone. I've had long streak of that bad luck, but I pray it's gone at last. Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to All Souls Shreveport's virtual worship service. We are in our 35th week, maybe, of doing these services. In our time in between getting together physically, in our time in between knowing what's going to happen with the pandemic, and our time of waiting between things that have happened this week and what comes next. This time between, we invite you to be here with us, whoever you are, whatever truth and integrity as you understand truth and integrity within you calls you to be, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity. If you care to be here with us, we welcome you. We are here in covenant together rather than a creed of what we all believe. What we covenant together is to be together in respectful community and try to be respectful of each other, even with differing paths and opinions. We have 7 principles as Unitarian Universalists that we affirm and promote, and those can be found on our website, the Unitarian Universalist Association's website, and we are happy to list as many as you would like most of the time. But kind of summed up, we want to treat each other and the world responsibly and with compassion. So we set aside this time so that we might collectively lift up matters of worth and contemplate things that are deeply important. So what those are may vary from one member of this body to the next, but lifting up matters of worth and contemplating matters of worth is the root form of the word worship, and that's what we're here for. So I want to personally thank every one of you that kicked in this year to do a lot of work around the elections. We had some major victories and some major losses. We hopefully will learn from all of that and move forward in ever improving directions. Some of you wrote cards, some of you wrote letters, some of you made phone calls, some of you knocked on doors, some of you just walked streets with signs. Or drove through neighborhoods with loudspeakers, or met in protest marches or affirmation marches, and all of that makes a difference. And I am so grateful to every one of you for your commitment and care. Our investment as a movement in the process of the democratic process, voting. So, relax for a minute, take some deep breaths, let your nerves unfrazzle as you will. Make space to restore your curiosity and sense of ease, and we'll tell you a little bit more about stuff as we go along. Let's see.
Yes, hello and good morning. I don't know how to follow that intro, but I am going to. So I'm Ben Upton. I'm the board president here at All Souls UU, and I'm glad to join you this morning. I don't have a whole lot of new or novel announcements to make, but I'm going to say the same things that I say every week. Fill out the visitor log, make an online donation. Those things both work. Get you on our mailing list, and we hope to keep in touch with you. The new UU course that I've been working on is wrapping up today. This is the final workshop at 1 p.m. So if you haven't gotten a link to that, then let me know, and I will send you a link. Although I'll say if you haven't joined already, then it's a little tough to jump into the very end of it. But the next class, what would you like to see? If you're interested in something in specific, let me know. I'm thinking of doing another leadership course. I've done a couple of those before, and they've been pretty successful. Also, the annual pledge drive and doing a budget rally. If you have ideas on a kickoff, we definitely need some continued support. I know the budget and basically our financial condition for the year, we normally don't see such steady recurring donations. We've actually seen a good amount of that. And I don't ask for money when we don't need it. We're getting a little short right now. And so it's getting to the point where we could we could definitely use your donations if you can spare it. And maybe you're not donating to political campaigns anymore. So maybe you've got a few extra bucks that you can throw our way. That would be wonderful. Congregational meeting on 13 December. We'll talk about some matters of import, specifically the adoption of the 8th principle. We're going to be working on that too. In adult religious education, Susan Caldwell is teaching that right now so that we can kind of deepen that conversation and talk about what kinds of action we need to take with this congregation. We've got a lot of also some other, some business that's going to go on there as well, editing some bylaws and doing some other, kind of housekeeping stuff. But it's not just going to be housekeeping. There's going to be some important stuff that comes up. So I encourage you to show up at the to attend the congregational meeting on the 13th of December. We will talk about a lot of things, and we would love to have your input. And with that, I will turn it over to Susan Caldwell. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. And that gave me time, to think about my answer to the big questions here. So thank you so much, Reverend Barbara. And thank you, Bennett. One really important thing I want to announce, and I thank Brittany Turner for reminding me this morning, because I knew this and I knew I wanted to announce it, but I would have forgotten if she hadn't reminded me. City Councilwoman Lavette Fuller, Shreveport City Councilwoman from District B, is introducing a resolution in honor of Transgender Day of Remembrance. She will be introducing that this Tuesday at the regular council meeting at 3 p.m. It will be at the beginning of the meeting. I'm reluctant to say everybody show up because I don't really know what the in-person stipulations are with COVID, but I do know that they live stream. So if you can come in person and we end up having to wait outside, I think they do stream it to the lobby as well. But definitely at least watch the live stream and be there in spirit. This is such a wonderful thing. She is honoring the memory of transgender people who've lost their lives, specifically in this community, Von Tasha Bell and most recently Brooklyn Smith. Trans women of color are murdered at a higher rate than any other population in this country, and it's a sad thing to have to commemorate each year, and it's important to recognize these lives and also to recognize the lives of trans people and all that they're contributing. I think another trans person was elected to public office this week in Delaware. Anyway, yes, Delaware. So anyway, if you can be there Tuesday afternoon or at least tune in the live stream, we would love that. We'll have family religious education today at 1 o'clock. It'll be a short session, but it'll be all about gratitude. It's that time of year where we always want to turn our thoughts to gratitude, but we want to talk about that a little bit more today. So we hope you'll join us. And I'll echo Bennett in inviting you to our 9 o'clock Sunday morning religious education, adult religious education, where we are working on adopting the 8th principle, because the 8th principle, I believe Steve will put the link in the chat with the wording, but it's about actively and accountably dismantling racism and white supremacy culture where we see it and where we recognize it in our own systems. And so it's some deep and good and necessary work, and we hope you'll join us for that. And I believe that is all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you all. As we move into this time we set aside for ourselves, as we catch our breath and settle into this community of spirit, let us be reminded of our precious individual uniqueness as well as our highest common values, the beauty and fragility of the web, the privilege and responsibility of understanding. While in so many deep ways, some of our anxiety may be releasing, let me encourage you to stay present and awakening. For the next couple of minutes, I invite you to don your universal translators with a sense of humility, gratitude, acknowledgement of shortcomings and significant losses, the pain, the rooted fear of others, and a profound sense of relief. I offer this.
We are led tonight by retired Navy Petty Officer First Class Jarrell Wilson.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the lights from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Wow.
Quite soon after one of the networks called Joe Biden the winner of the race for United States president, the mayor of Paris sent our nation a message. He said, "Welcome back, America." In a lot of ways, that expresses my emotions. Still, we are in a time between, and there's more to come. But for now, come into this place with open hearts. Come into this place with a soul that has remembered how to be tender again. Come into this place with a renewed hope for this world. Come into this place ready to build a world we've always been worthy of and have always dreamed of. Paul H. LaHerue wrote, "We gather in community to rest from our labors, to greet our neighbors, and to open our being to insight and intuition of that greater reality of which we are a part. May we find in our time together inspiration and renewal. May we touch the holy in each other and be touched by the graciousness of life. The graciousness of life. May we find here a calm peacefulness that will carry us through the days ahead. I want to invite our Director of Lifespan Religious Education to lead the first part of our chalice lighting.
Good morning. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart.
Thank you, Ms. Susan. Here today in this place and with these people, may we listen so that we can hear. May we hear so that we can feel, and may we feel so that we can know. And may we know so that we can change ourselves and this world. May this chalice we light our way. And I invite Melissa Lewis to guide us in our unison affirmation this morning.
Hi. My name is Melissa Lewis. This is our unison affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus we do covenant with each other.
Thank you, Melissa. We appreciate you helping us out this morning. We have a couple of songs. I want to do one verse of We Are Building a New Way, and then transition into the song We Are Thankful. I believe all the lyrics will be on your screen, and I hope you will sing along. I was thinking really it would be great to stand up for the We Are Building a New Way part, if you're so inclined, just to feel the energy of motion and the sense of possibility. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. Want to do that again? We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. The old ways don't work. We're building a new way. But the things we have known how to do and engaged in, for all of that, we are thankful. We are thankful for those who have come before. We are thankful, we are thankful. We are thankful for shelter away from the storm. We are thankful, we are thankful. We We are mindful of how many blessings we share in a circle of trust. We are bound by our care. Let us lift up our wonder and humbly declare we are thankful, thankful. We are thankful for every opening door. We are thankful, we are thankful. We are thankful for healing and justice restored. We are thankful, we are thankful. We are learning to live every day as a prayer. In a world full of pain, we are bound by our care. Let us lift up compassion and humbly declare we are thankful, thankful.
And good morning again. I want to show you something. I got myself a gift and I pre-ordered it a while back. So when it came in, it was like a nice surprise. This is March. This is the graphic novel I told you about a few weeks ago by the late Congressman John Lewis. It's really the story of his life, and it's a 3-volume set. And it's just incredible. And as we go on, I will I'm going to try and share more out of it. I can't really do that effectively today because I need to like transfer some of the pages onto a PowerPoint or something so that you can really see. But it's wonderful, and I'm so excited about it. And in that spirit, I would like to read to you a story from John Lewis. And I think it expresses in many ways the time that we're in. As Barbara said, we are rejoicing, and at the same time we are in the between time, the time between. He said, about 15 of us children were outside my Aunt Suneva's house, playing in her dirt yard. The sky began clouding over. The wind started picking up. Lightning flashed far off in the distance. And suddenly I wasn't thinking about playing anymore. I was terrified. Aunt Suneva was the only adult around, and as the sky blackened and the wind grew stronger, she herded us all inside. Her house was not the biggest place around, and it seemed even smaller with so many children squeezed inside. Small and surprisingly quiet. All the shouting and laughter that had been going on earlier outside had stopped. The wind was howling now, and the house was starting to shake. We were scared. Even Aunt Suneva was scared. And then it got worse, and the house was beginning to sway, and the wood plank flooring beneath us began to bend, and then a corner of the room started lifting up. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. None of us could. This storm was actually pulling the house toward the sky with us inside it. And that was when Aunt Suneva told us to clasp hands. Line up and hold hands, she said. And we did as we were told. And then she had us walk as a group toward the corner of the room that was rising. From the kitchen to the front of the house we walked, the wind screaming outside, sheets of rain beating on the tin roof. Then we walked back in the other direction as another end of the house began to lift. And so it went back and forth, 15 children walking with the wind, holding that trembling house down with the weight of our small bodies. More than half a century has passed since that day, and it has struck me more than once over those many years that our society is not unlike the children in that house, rocked again and again by the winds of one storm or another, the walls around us seeming at times as if they might fly apart. It seemed that way in the 1960s at the height of the civil rights movement, when America itself felt as if it might burst at the seams. So much tension, so many storms, but the people of conscience never left the house. They never ran away. They stayed, they came together, and they did the best they could, clasping hands and moving toward the corner of the house that was the weakest. And then another corner would lift, and we would go there. And eventually, inevitably, the storm would settle, and the house would still stand. But we knew another storm would come and we would have to do it all over again. And we did, and we still do. All of us, you and I, children holding hands, walking with the wind. Thank you, John Lewis. You will give to us for generations to come.
Good morning. For today's meditation, let yourself find a comfortable position, body balanced, spine straight. Begin with a deep, comfortable breath, shifting your attention to your heart space, and imagine breathing in and out of your heart. Allow your breath to deepen and slow. Allow your breath to be soft and kind. We begin our time of meditation today with a poem from Rumi, the Sufi mystic. He says, "Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense." In this sacred moment, we may pause and reflect. In my life's journey, I have encountered much dissension and division, struggle within between parts of me that cannot agree, needs that pull me in opposite directions, self-judgments that wound me deeply. I find conflict with others in word and deed. I encounter walls of misunderstanding and the fires of hatred and blame. I am torn between the need to stand up for cherished principles and the call to open wide the gates of beloved community. How can I go forward? As I enter this moment's breath and this moment's clear vision, I know that beyond stories of conflict, there is an open space, a field where the heart finds oneness. Beyond the inner conflicts, there is a field of wholeness I can trust. Beyond conflicting values, there is the radiant life we share. Beyond endless words is the silence that holds the great mystery. Beyond argument, there is a kindness whose roots go deeper than words into the infinite beauty of creation. Beyond all dissension, there is beloved community that offers the joy of reunion rather than the fear of separation. Today, I will rest in that field and let my soul be embraced by the wholeness and healing that includes all people, all beings, and the earth on which I stand. In these few moments of sacred silence, I will let my breath carry me beyond shadows to light, beyond words to the open heart, beyond the dreams of fear to the awakening dawn of peace that is our true nature, our true home.
This reading comes from Kate R. Walker. In between, liminal, that space where we wait. Between moments, events, results, action, no action. To stand on the threshold, waiting for something to end and something new to arrive. A pause in the rumble of time. Awareness claims us, alert, a shadow of something different, in between invitation and acceptance, in between symptom and diagnosis, in between send and receive and receipt of inquiry and question, in between love given and love received, liminality, a letting go, entering into confusion, ambiguity, and disorientation. A ritual begun, pause, look back at what once was, and look forward into what becomes. Identity sheds a layer, reaches into something uncomfortable to wear. In between lighting of the match and kindling of the oil, in between choosing of text and the reading of words, in between voices and notes carried through the air into ears to hear, in between creation thrusts ever forward. Social hierarchies may disassemble and structures may fall. Communities may revolt or tempt trust. Tradition may falter or creativity crashes forward. Leaders may step down or take charge. The people may choose or refuse. In between, storm predicted, the horizon beacons. In between, theology of process reminds us to step back. In between, where minutiae and galaxies intermingle with microbes and mysteries. In between, liminal, that space where we wait. Look, listen, feel, breathe. This past week was a pretty anxious time in our country, if the pandemic didn't have everybody anxious enough. I noticed during the course of the week, one day I would go out to run an errand and my feet would be moving slow. I could feel the gravity of things that were in process. I have to admit, I slept on the couch for several nights, just so I could keep the television in front of me. I wanted to know, because I had no idea what to talk to y'all about today until I saw what was going on. I tried to have some general ideas, and I think that I will bring those forward anyway. The title for today is long. I don't know how much of it you caught, but it's 2020 Vision, Hindsight, Nowsight, and Foresight, extended liminal time, why the mountain matters, and why love must lead. Got all that? Okay, now say it back to me. I felt like in a lot of, I was going to do music from Jimmy Cliff, Sitting Here in Limbo, and we really are still in limbo. But there's deep appreciation for the engagement of the people who've been involved in all of these activities. Once again, we're asked to wait. You'd think we'd be getting pretty good at it by now. Apparently, some of us are, and some of us are not. But because I was talking with a physician earlier this week, and she said that she had gotten really good at doing some of the things for herself that she used to get out of attending a worship service. Release and security and fullness and what all? You fill in the blank. Singing and stuff like that was a part of things that were important to her. But she said she's gotten pretty good at doing some of that for herself. And so what I want to invite, and I have not checked this with any of our IT people, I want to invite you, if you will, in the chat as we go along, if there are ways that you have found to fill that hole that was coming together at church, being hugged, lots of hugs, standing around having meaningful or just playful conversations around coffee, coming together, singing and being of one voice and one spirit. All of those things that have kept you rooted to what's greater. If you would share those so that maybe the people who haven't gotten really good at it yet might get some ideas, I think that'd be great. Try to be brief. It is a chat. And hopefully we can still learn from each other. I want to know you're there. I want to know what's going on with you. So now that part of the waiting is over, I can't help but wonder what we will take away from this experience. There's an expression, hindsight is 20/20. Well, this is 2020, and lots of people are happy to put it in the rearview mirror because of the pandemic and everything else that has been weighing on us this year. But I don't know that hindsight is always 20/20 because we bring our biases to it. The decisions that have been made this week or continue to be made in this country indicate very clearly that very close to half of the country does not see things the way that the same way that a little bit more than half the country sees them. They have not come to the same conclusions. They have not had the same experience. They don't understand truth to be the same. And if we think we're going to change this world and build beloved community, our time looking back needs to be spent trying to understand how we got where we are. Learn things from it, not just assume we have all the answers. In the time in between, Richard Rohr wrote, "Some native peoples call liminal space crazy time. I believe that the unique and necessary function of religion is to lead us into this crazy time. liminal time. Instead, religion has largely become a confirmation of the status quo and business as usual, whatever that business might be. Religion should lead us into sacred space where deconstruction of the old normal, whatever the old normal was, can occur. Much of my criticism of religion comes about when I see it not only affirming the system of normalcy, but teaching folks how to live there comfortably. Cheap religion teaches us how to live contentedly in the sick world, just as poor therapy teaches us how to accommodate ourselves to sometimes small world based on power, prestige, and possessions. A good therapist and a good minister will always open up larger vistas for you, which are by definition risky, instead of just rearranging the deck chairs on the sinking Titanic. Our hindsight needs to teach us. Our now sight needs to be expansive. A friend of mine this week sent me a video from presiding Episcopal Bishop Michael Curry. It was an amazing sermon. In it, he quoted a number of Unitarians. But he also talked about the fact that Moses and Jesus and Dr. Martin Luther King all talked about going to the mountain for clarity. Moses went there to get instruction. Jesus, before the Sermon on the Mount, which is some of my favorite texts in the Christian New Testament, looks out and sees the crowd and goes to the mountain. And it's there he begins to teach the people around him about greater values. Because from that expanded view, if we look out and we bring our biases with us to look at what's around us, we don't see it. Liminal space can carry us into deeper internal connection and awareness. I think that's what Larry always asks us to do. The mountain can lead us outside ourselves and encourage us to look from that distant view at even the small things. Find that sense of, and I will use an archaic word, brotherhood, the beloved community, humankind as one family, but also as parts of the same organism. From that mountain, we can get our strength. We can come to understand in deeper ways that we are part of something much greater. Dr. King said he had been to the mountain, and it was that vision he brought back to lead with. It was not his personal plans. It was not whatever lessons he had found even grounded in his religious traditions. He went in a vision to the mountain and saw the promises that were potential. Again, the mountain matters because in this republic that we enjoy, only 50.5% voted for change. Many of us are still having a hard time trying to wrap our heads around how that's possible. What we have seen and the ways we have interpreted the facts of our lives and the experiences we have had led us to certain conclusions that may utterly seem obvious to us. But how is it then that half of this country came to completely opposite understandings? If we can't find our way to the broader understanding, how do we truly propose to build beloved community in which the inherent worth and dignity of every person is honored, in which acceptance and encouragement are dearly valued? How do we find our place above the noise or through the noise? To hear the still small voices, to hear the clear tone resounding through existence and nature. This week, historian John Meacham, I really like the way he writes and talks, was talking about division being the oxygen of democracy. He said many people have set aside these days their capacity to change their minds if circumstances suggest they should change. He said democracies don't work without empathy. So while right now it may be very tempting to get snarky or to revel in someone's defeat, look at our own losses. Spend some time thinking about how other people feel and what it's going to take to work together, to find our way back to at least being able to talk. Van Jones this week said democracies are fragile and democracies can fail. We have witnessed what I feel, and this is my personal conviction, that we have stood at the brink. These things recycle in history. They come back around, and they will come back around again. The distance we go to heal the chasm can save us. The ones and the twos that have over time come to different understanding have carried us into this threshold, made it so that we are in this liminal space. Now, in a little bit of a different spin on the whole thing, Reinhold Niebuhr said, man's capacity for justice makes democracy possible. Our capacity for justice makes democracy possible. He also said, man's capacity for injustice makes democracy necessary. The assumption of everyone having the same capacity for compassion, I think, is a mistake. Or for people even understanding what compassion means. I know that most of you may not be able to imagine that. But what compassion looks like in a different system is not the same. And until we come to understand some of that, we still stand across the barricades and fight. Thinking others should just move on and get over. Oh, there was a newscaster after Van Jones talked about democracy being fragile, who just kind of said, politics is politics. You don't get into it unless you're going to be ready to lose. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. They need to get over it. That kind of an attitude, I think, is more dangerous to the country than we can imagine. I also know that it's destructive to the idea of beloved community. In this extended liminal time, let us do all we can to find understanding. Jarrell Fullerton, an editor and author, wrote, when we find ourselves in liminal space, does it matter whether we are pushed or whether we jump? Either way, we're not where or what we were before. Nor do we know how or where we will land in our new reality. We are, as the anthropologist Victor Turner wrote, betwixt and between. In that space, which is mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, we're destabilized, disoriented. The old touchstones, habits, and comforts are now past. The future is still unknown. We only wish such a time could be over. We may be impatient to pass through it quickly with as little distress as possible, even though that's not likely. But what if we can choose to experience this liminal space and time, this uncomfortable now, as a place and state of creativity, of construction, and deconstruction, choice and transformation. Use this time of transition to adjust your focus. Kind of like for people who wear glasses, you can understand getting adjusted to a new pair of lenses. Carry things with you that keep compassion alive while you celebrate, and hope alive in the areas of great loss. I want to remind you that you are kind and gracious people. That rests in our shared values. And this is no time to lose sight of that. Practice taking your thoughts up the mountain. Let love lead so that we can find our way to a more beloved community perpetually. Learn from our hindsight. Be present in the moment, to the conversations, to what is rather than what we initially see. Let the filters fall away to find the essence at the core. Let love lead. I want to invite you to sing with me just a couple of verses of This Little Light of Mine. Jorma Kaukonen has a song, just as long as I'm in this world, I am the light of this world. We're not doing that one. We are the light, if we will embody the light. carry the light with us and within us. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. This is your verse. I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Compassion as my guide. Compassion as my guide, I'm gonna let it shine. Compassion as my guide, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. We need hope for some of the losses. We need to rebuild things that have been broken. And we need to be intentional about carrying light into the world around us. I am so grateful to you for your heart, your commitment to the virtues of justice, kindness, truth, acceptance, to your deep valuing of compassion and appreciation for the necessity of growth and change in this living tradition. May we continue to find our spirits open to new understandings and ever greater compassion. Brené Brown said, "Vulnerability sounds like truth and feels like courage. Truth and courage aren't always comfortable, but they are never weakness." In the words of Israel Beffardi, "The road that lies ahead of us is a long one, and the pace of progress will sometimes feel glacially slow. Never forget that glaciers over time can carve out Grand Canyons and Great Lakes. Moving tectonic plates can rise up mountains over millennia, or they can explode awe-inspiring volcanoes in milliseconds. Our commitment to love, and justice can do the same. May we go in peace. May we go with love. Ashe. Amen. Blessed be. So be it. Namaste.